And there you have it. Well, the suspense is over. For more on this announcement, let's go to our correspondent at the United Nations in New York, Sherwin Bryce-Pease, who had an exclusive interview with the Prime Minister after a powerful speech he delivered last year. Sherwin, good evening. The Foundation saying the annual lecture is a unique platform to drive debate on significant social issues, and it would be hard to dispute that Prime Minister Mottley is someone that has been very much at the forefront of driving that debate. Not so?
Quite right, Iman. I mean, she's a refreshing leader that essentially calls a spade a spade. She is certainly a muscular orator of our time. And while she speaks fervently to the social ills of our time, from poverty to climate change, she is also very entertaining to listen to. She spoke last year at the UN General Assembly during the high-level leaders segment, and here's a quote that you might have heard before, Iman, quote, "If we can find the will to send people to the moon and solve male baldness, we can solve the simple problems like letting people eat at affordable prices." So she speaks to issues that are very prescient and relevant in our lives today. And she was also one of the keynote speakers at the COP26 Climate Change Summit in Glasgow, Scotland last year. This is what she had to say then. Watch.
So I ask to you, what must we say to our people living on the front line in the Caribbean, in Africa, in Latin America, in the Pacific, when both ambition and regrettably some of the needed faces at Glasgow are not present? What excuse should we give for the failure? In the words of that Caribbean icon, Eddie Grant, will they mourn us on the front line? When will we, as world leaders across the world, address the pressing issues that are truly causing our people angst and worry, whether it is climate or whether it is vaccines? Simply put, when will leaders lead? Our people are watching, and our people are taking note. And are we really going to leave Scotland without the resolve and the ambition that is sorely needed to save lives and to save our planet? How many more voices and how many more pictures of people must we see on these screens without being able to move?
Certainly has the ability there, Man, to silence a room, right? Simply put, when will leaders lead? And I think everybody at home probably nodding to that line over there, Man.
Every time I've heard her speak, as you say, Sherwin, such a captivating orator. But unlike so many politicians here at home and around the world, Mia Mottley is that rare breed of popular politician, winning a landslide second term earlier this year. Paint a picture for us, Sherwin.
Yeah, she was re-elected, Iman, to a second term in office by a landslide in January this year. Her Barbados Labour Party winning all 30 seats in the lower house in Parliament, completely shutting out the rival Democratic Labour Party. Months before that, she also presided over Barbados's transition to a republic, of course, removing the British monarch as a head of state. And of course, we are seeing various iterations of that now from countries in the region like Jamaica, also now on a path towards a republic, we're told, by 2025. And she's also been a very powerful voice on the SDGs. Part of the citation from the Nelson Mandela Foundation is that she is the Champions of the Earth honoree that the United Nations named last year. And they write in that citation, Iman, Prime Minister Mottley has been a champion for those who are most vulnerable to the triple planetary crises of climate change, biodiversity loss, and pollution and waste. Her passionate advocacy and policy achievements are prime examples of what world leaders can take, of how world leaders, can take bold, urgent action on environmental issues. So really positioning her as not just an inspiration that speaks to the social ills of our time, but certainly as an inspiration to her fellow peers, her leaders who face some of the similar challenges around the world, Iman.
So the lecture this year is going to be held in eThekwini, my hometown, my home region, in what the foundation says is a move to demonstrate solidarity with the people of KwaZulu-Natal and the Eastern Cape following those catastrophic floods there earlier this year. What more can you share on that?
Yeah, the theme for this year's lecture seeks to explore issues of climate change and food insecurity and the critical need to find sustainable solutions to climate change and various developmental challenges, Iman, from eradicating poverty, women's empowerment, quality, education, universal healthcare, of course, a huge issue post the pandemic. Essentially, speaking to the SDG development agenda with that deadline very fast approaching in 2030. And the backdrop here is going to be KwaZulu-Natal, the Eastern Cape, of course, a region still recovering from those devastating April floods. And so speaking very much to that backdrop in terms of some of the policy prescriptions she will provide in that lecture. So a prescient move here from the Nelson Mandela Foundation, finding very much someone that will be able to speak to this moment.
Certainly sounds like we're in for a treat, Sherwin, on both content and style. Thanks for sharing some of that backstory with us. SABC News correspondent Sherwin Bryce-Pease on Prime Minister Miya Mottley.